Gym owners, in this video, we're going to talk about the 3 best business books for your training gym that you haven't read and maybe have never even heard of. My name is Mark Fisher from businessforunicorns.com, and I am a lover of books. But here's the thing, when you read a lot of books and you pay attention to business books and the books people are recommending, you tend to hear a lot of the same books over and over, and those are great books. For instance, everybody should read The E-Myth. If you haven't read The E-Myth, turn off the video right now and go and read it. Sure, it's a little bit cliche because everyone recommends it, but there's a reason why. But I have a special soft place in my heart for books that I think are excellent that don't seem to get what I think is the praise that they deserve. And if you're interested in learning more about my particular system for consuming tons of books and not only reading them, because that really doesn't get you any points, but for turning books into action steps, click on the link in the description below for my system that have helped me read 1,200 books over the past 12 years. The first book is a book on management and leadership called Growing Great Employees by Erica Anderson. And the only place I've ever seen this book referenced, I think, was in Joshua Kaufman's Personal MBA, which is another book. And that's a good, I think, one-stop shopping overview of the things one needs to know about business very, very broadly. So I guess recommendation within a recommendation. And what I love about this book is there are a lot of books on leadership and management, and most of them are pretty fluffy, I gotta say it. If they're talking about this topic at all, it tends to be pretty high level. It tends to be almost mindset-y, about casting the vision and being a leader and all that stuff, and that's cool. But in my experience coaching gym owners, the thing that I see a lot of people missing in the fitness industry is the technical skills of managing someone. There are a lot of things about this book I love, but I'll give you one of the very simplest things, which is right in the beginning, which is thinking of listening as fertilizing the soil for good leadership. So this book uses, I think, a clever and actually very useful metaphor of being a manager, being a leader, kind of like being a gardener, as if your team members are plants and you're looking to nourish them and feed them and care for them. And this metaphor holds up surprisingly well and is very, very useful. But I really like the idea of listening as fertilizing the soil, right? If you think about it, it's sort of like getting in there with your shovel and scooping around. Instead of going right into trying to do anything with a plant at all, you want to just get some information, get some air in there, and optimally spend more time listening, asking questions, and helping them think. And this requires, for most of us, yours truly certainly included, the willpower to not jump in and try to solve things and make decisions and solve issues for them. Because long term, that's not how you set people up to be their very best, most impactful self. The second book that I love, Priceless. So gotta give a shout out here. This book I found from Mike Arce of Loud Rumor. This book is super awesome, and Mike has talked about this book for years. Now, I highly recommend this book, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of similarity, I think, between this book and Robert Cialdini's Classic Influence, which is an amazing book that you should read, but odds are that's one of the books that hopefully you've already heard of. If I were to give you one big takeaway from this book, I think it's just an appreciation that humans do not understand value or price in a vacuum. It's always in contrast to something else. So there are a number of ways that you can utilize it, but the most obvious one is it is your role to anchor and create the comparisons, the contrasts for whatever it is that you're offering. So for example, if your clients are comparing you to Planet Fitness or like an $8 a month big box gym, you're gonna lose that conversation. But if they compare your small group or classes to very high priced boutique personal training, then suddenly you have a little bit more control over how that individual is assigning value to the services that you offer. And the third book is my favorite book on, well, one of my favorite books ever on customer service, Secret Service by John DeJulius III. Now, you've probably heard me talk about Never Lose a Customer Again. I think that book is also awesome, but you maybe already heard about this book. So I want to give you some ones you maybe haven't heard about. John R. DeJulius III, yes, he owns a chain of hair salons in Ohio and also has a consulting company where he works on customer service. This book for gym owners is chock full of amazing stuff because there are all sorts of valuable, same but different things you can apply. Now, a lot of individuals talk about the importance of learning from other industries. That's a little bit cliched, and oftentimes in fitness, people are looking at hospitality and they're looking at hotels. And while I don't make that wrong, the reality is that is a very different kind of business with different margins, different CRM. I'm not saying there's nothing you can learn there, but I am saying you're gonna find a lot more immediately applicable things that are maybe different than what you've heard of and are more implementable. So many takeaways here, but one I will give you that I love is finding some system to make it obvious who is brand new. So they talk about in their salons having a special colored apron that new hair salon guests wear so that everybody on staff knows that person is new. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can apply that in your gym, but at the very least, thinking through how can you make it immediately clear to everyone on your staff who is new so that people that are new get even extra love, care, and attention. My goodness, I just love these books so much. I hope you are a nerd like me and maybe you enjoy finding ones that other people don't know, because the reality is if you're reading the same books as everyone else, that's not wrong. It's better than not reading any books. But if you want to find different things, it's good to find nuggets, and books like these are not as well known. Nonetheless, I think it's well worth your time to actually read it. If you find it valuable, I think all of these could be worthwhile to be part of team reads because there's lots of actionable stuff for training gym owners. All right, my friends, and if you are looking for more actionable stuff, you should head over to businessforunicorns.com. Click the button right in the middle of the website to get our free gym owner report card. It is a super useful, completely free assessment that's going to help you get immediately clear on what is the next thing you should be working on your business to move the ball forward. I know sometimes a gym owner can feel like there are all sorts of things you could work on, and factually speaking, that's true. So I hope you will go right to businessforunicorns.com and create some clarity out of the chaos so you know what your next step is to create the business of your dreams. And before you go, you might as well go downstairs, hit that little subscribe button. Can we call that downstairs? Go downstairs to the subscribe button so you don't miss more videos, because I'll be coming back soon with more actionable tips, psychological frameworks, and philosophy.